What do I do? How do I make this work?
I don't know. Chairman now.
Test 1, 2.
I think you have to hold it flat.
Oh, yeah, like this.
Okay, let's
Working
try.
on it.
I guess we try. All right, just.
I do not take responsibility for the board.
I love singing bowls, but I don't know how to do them, so sorry about that. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to this beautiful, glorious morning. So happy to have you here and thrilled that you found us. You know, we decided every couple of weeks we're going to move the entrance just to, give it a little excitement. So great that you're here. So today I'm going to have a rapid fire list of board announcements because we have a lot to cover. And I'm going to start in reverse chronological order, which is opposite from what we normally do, to keep you on your toes. So starting with Saturday, November 16th, Fall Fair. We've got new posters and flyers in the back for you to hand out, post wherever you live, in places you shop. So please grab some of those on your way out. We've greatly expanded what we're accepting in the areas of electronics and women's clothing. So please check the website out for that. And bring any broken jewelry you have to the office so that we can get it repaired and be ready to sell by the 16th. Okay, now moving to Sunday, October 27th, only 3 weeks away. That's our fall congregational meeting following the service and the hospitality hour. Please plan to be there. We've got really important things to discuss, including our budget for next year. Then October 20th, 2 weeks away. A lot is happening that day. If you're new or newish to FirstU, plan to join the Introducing Ourselves session after the service that day. You'll meet others over a light lunch and learn more about FirstU. You can sign up at the welcome table in the back where Carol is waving, or by emailing welcome@firstunitarianottawa.ca. Then that evening there'll be a Beatles sing-along, which will be a fundraiser for our food cupboard. You can see more details about that in the EUU. Okay, now moving forward to tomorrow. Tomorrow is the last call for signing up for the journey groups, or what we used to call chalice groups, it's a small group opportunity to connect with others and deepen your own spirituality. I can share that I participated in several of these groups in the last few years, and I found them deeply satisfying. So I really recommend you consider that. There's one for daytime and one for evening planned, but we need more people to sign up in order for them to move ahead. So if you're interested at all, please register at adultlearning@firstunitarianottawa.org or see Eva, who's going to raise her hand. Eva, there she is, back there. See her after the service. You can really talk to Eva about any of the adult learning opportunities that I've talked about today. And if you'd like to learn more about what FirstU did to achieve the Green Sanctuary Award that was celebrated last week's service, check out the Environmental Action Group section of the website, which will also include photos of our folks in the September Climate March. And finally, 2 things for today to remember. Approximately twice a month, we'll be having after-service conversations about the themes and learnings from the Sunday service. This is something that I've been hearing people talking about for a long time. It's like, wow, that was so interesting what I heard, but in fellowship hour, everybody's talking about other stuff. How can we get together and really go deep about what we've heard? So we've listened to you, and we've set up an opportunity for you to go to the long table in Fellowship Hall. There's 2 long tables, one for folks that just like to sit at long tables, and one for people who want to do the discussion. You'll see the sign on the discussion one. So come join there. This will be our kickoff one to talk about what we hear Guy Belleperche talk about today. But before doing that, I'm thrilled to announce that today we're going to be bringing hot food back to lunchtime at Fellowship Hour, which is very cool. So compliments of Mustafa, the owner of Mia's Restaurant at Richmond and Woodruff. We have a long history with him. If you don't know about it, ask anybody who's been here for a while. They can tell you. It's very exciting. Pick up a snack or take one home, and then join the discussion group that will be led by some wonderful folks. It should be really satisfying. That's it.
Good morning. We're going to do a new sing-along prelude this morning. This song is Keep On Moving Forward. It's a little protest music by Pat Humphries of Emma's Revolution, and it's a very fun, catchy little song. So we'll start with, I'll sing a phrase, and then I'll ask you to echo it back to me. And we're going to leave off, there's a gonna at the front. For now, we're just going to start on keep on moving forward. So it'll sound like this. Keep on moving forward. Keep on moving forward. Keep on moving forward. Never turning back. Never turning back. Good, we'll do it one more time, echoing. Gonna keep on moving forward. Keep on moving forward. Keep on moving forward. Never turning back. Never turning back. All right, we're going to do it all together now. I might throw in a little bit of clapping at times. You can join in if you want or not, as you feel. So, and we'll just go through all the verses. The line, this is like a zipper song. So the word, where we say moving forward will become moving proudly, will become singing loudly as we go through each verse. So here we go, gonna keep on moving forward. Keep on moving forward. Keep on moving forward. Never turning back. Never turning back. Gonna keep on moving proudly. Keep on moving proudly. Keep on moving proudly. Never turning back. Never turning back. Gonna keep on singing loudly. Keep on singing loudly. Keep on singing loudly. Never turning back. Never turning back. Gonna keep on loving boldly. Keep on loving boldly. Keep on loving boldly. Never turning back. Never turning back. Thank you.
Bonjour tout le monde. Welcome everyone to the First Unitarian Congregation of Ottawa. Whether you are here in Worship Hall or watching from wherever you may be, you are welcome. No, I am not the Reverend Eric Meter. I am in fact Guy Belleperche, your speaker for today.
And I'm Mary, your worship associate this morning. We acknowledge that our FirstU campus is located on traditional, unsurrendered, and unceded Algonquin and Anishinaabe territory, and that the work of reconciliation is a responsibility of our congregation and of all Canadians. Our goal is to educate ourselves and all those that have the willingness to understand, to be of service to those who are at risk, and to advocate for justice. Let us join our voices in song once more. Please rise in body or in spirit as we sing together, Lead with Love. The lyrics will be on the screen above.
We're going to do this one without piano. This is not from our hymnal, but you may remember it. Oh, no, I can come up here. So I'm closer to yours. You have heard Chalice Choir sing it last year. I think it was also a sing-along prelude for a little bit, so hopefully it is familiar to you. All right, so. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love.
Don't give up hope.
Don't give up hope.
You're not alone.
You're not alone.
Don't you give up.
Don't you give up.
Keep moving on.
Keep moving on. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love.
Lift up your eyes.
Lift up your eyes.
Don't you despair.
Don't you despair.
Look up ahead.
Look up ahead.
The path is there.
The path is there. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. I know you're scared. And I'm scared too. But here I am, right next to you. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead up the other one. One foot, lead with love. You gotta put one foot, lead up the other one. One foot, lead with love. Lead with love.
As health challenges continue, do take care and take advantage of online opportunities at FirstU to stay in touch. If you are new to FirstU and would like to learn more about us, please contact us through our email at welcome@firstunitarianottawa.ca. And if you are right here in Worship Hall with us this morning and would like more information about FirstU, it is available at the welcome table at the back of the pews, and you'll see Carol waving at us from back there. So please go see her after the service if you'd like to. We encourage you to sign up to receive the EUU, our weekly email newsletter. Sign-up information is available on our website under the Communications tab and as a QR code on the back of our printed programs. Check out our Facebook and Instagram pages and our website for notices and updates. Our calendar continues to be as full as ever, though some of our activities take place online. This morning, each of us is welcome. We of any heritage or faith, whatever our burdens, of any culture or race, of any gender or orientation, in any body, all that we are. Today we are all a part of this spiritual community. Welcome.
To begin our morning's reflection on compassion, we light our chalice to these words of welcome by Eric A. Heller-Wagner. Blessed is the fire that burns deep in the soul. It is the flame of the human spirit, touched into being by the mystery of life. It is the fire of reason, the fire of compassion, the fire of community, the fire of justice, the fire of faith. It is the fire of love burning deep in the human heart, the divine glow in every light. Our chalice is lit. Come, let us worship together as we begin by singing our chalice song.
Chalice, chalice, burning bright, help remind us with your light of how we'd like to live each day, with love and truth helping lead the way.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Jody McIntosh, the Director of Religious Exploration, and I have a story to share with you this morning. If I have any young or young at heart folks who would like to join me at the front, and you can look at my storybook, and for everyone else, you should be able to see it up on the screen. My story today is called I Am Love, a Book of Compassion by Susan Verity. When I see someone going through a storm, a storm of hurt and unfairness, of anger and sadness, when the sun disappears and the sky grows dark. And I see there is fear, I ask myself, what can I do to help let the light back in? I put my hands on my heart and I listen, and that is where I find the answer. I have compassion. I act with tenderness. I am love. I can listen and not say a word. I can be there. Love is being present. I can hug and hold and say, everything will be all right. Love is comfort. I can speak softly and choose my words and actions carefully. Love is gentle. I can give thanks for all I have and am able to share. Love is gratitude. I can keep my mind and body safe and healthy. Love is taking care of me. I can express what's important to me. Love is creative. I can know that no one is perfect. Love is understanding. I can do my best to make things better. When something is wrong, love is effort. I can celebrate those I've loved before. Love is remembering. I can find goodness in a kind word, a helping hand, or a shared smile. Love is tiny gestures. I can breathe in the air that the whole world shares and know all creatures are made from the very same stardust. Love is connection. When the clouds roll in for others and for me, I know now there is something I can do. I can let my heart lead the way. I am love. You are love. We are love. And with love, we will weather the storm and light up the sky together. Thank you. If we will now sing our Children on Our Way, and if you can create an arch down this aisle for us, that would be lovely. Thank you.
Each week we pause in our time together in recognition of the joys and sorrows in our lives and across the globe. We honor our celebrations and challenges by placing a stone in a bowl of water. As the ripples extend outward, imagine them continuing out beyond these small bowls, out through and past our pews, out into the larger community of all. And we have today 2 caring cards. I'll tell you about them a little later, but the first caring card and the first stone is a stone of caring for Phil and Anne, holding you close in thought and heart as you go to support your son and his family during his cancer treatment. The second is a stone of joy and good health to Werner, who, believe it or not, is having his 98th birthday. So congratulations and good health to Werner. I don't see him out, but know that we are thinking of you. Now I would ask you all come forward, those who are interested, to honor your joys and sorrows by placing stones in water. Please come forward. I would ask Guy to put one final stone for all the joys and sorrows still in our hearts and in the world at large. 2 caring cards are at the back of the hall for us to sign. Even if you don't know them, this is a time for us to extend our care on behalf of those who give so much of their hearts to this community. Let us move now into a time of stillness and reflection. After several moments, we'll come back together through the gift of music.
We're switching the order of things a little bit today. The anthem's actually going to be before the reflection. So today we have Chalice Choir singing Requiem by singer-songwriter Eliza Gilkison in an arrangement by Craig Hella Johnson. She wrote Requiem after the devastating Asian tsunami of 2004 as an invocation to compassion, she says, and a song of prayer and comfort. Oh, and I should say Alex Campbell is joining us on piano today on very short notice, so we're very grateful to him.
Thank you so much to Jen and the Chalice Choir, and especially to guest pianist Alex for this beautiful, beautiful, inspiring song. Thank you. Our guest speaker today, Guy, is an engineer by education, a pragmatic idealist by temperament, and a family man. He is a retired public servant, resident of Ottawa since 1989, and a part of the Ottawa UU community since 2004. Guy is a dedicated volunteer. Here at FirstU, he has volunteered as a sexuality educator with the OWL program, has been a youth advisor with Religious Exploration, a worship associate for Sunday morning services, and committee member and chair, including with the board of directors. Guy has also served as a lay chaplain since May 2022, serving both FirstU and the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Ottawa, the UUFO, or as we fondly call it, the Fellowship. This is a spiritual UU community on MacArthur Avenue in the East End. I present to you our own Guy Belleperche, who will speak to us on moving from empathy to compassion. Guy?
I gotta say, it's a little hard to follow after the Chalice Choir, so I'm gonna take a second. So, I was invited to speak at the fellowship last Sunday in my role as an active lay chaplain. They ask lay chaplains who serve both communities to come by periodically to familiarize ourselves with our sister or our sibling, there we go, our sibling congregation here in Ottawa. As Mary said, we serve both congregations, so it's nice for folks there to see us, and it's very nice for us to get over there. I'm ashamed to admit, I've only been to the UUFO 3 times so far, and 2 of those times were to speak, so I'm making an effort to get there a little more frequently from now on. As I said, it was my second time speaking there, and this time I was asked to speak on the topic of compassion, which is their theme for the year. Compassion is right there in our second principle: justice, equity, and compassion in human relations. It's referenced in many of our opening and closing readings. Our congregational focus is cultivating compassionate community. But despite all of this, I had not really thought about the meaning of the word. I had always conflated compassion and empathy. Walking a mile in someone's shoes or trying to navigate in their wheelchair, perceiving things from their point of view, or trying to understand how they came to believe some of the, and I'll leave out a few choice words, interesting things that they do. While traveling in the United States several years ago now, I saw people wearing t-shirts with the slogan, "Compassionate Conservative." And even then, thinking of compassion as a synonym for empathy sort of works. Many of these people claim to be small c conservatives, so they favor lower taxes and smaller government, but they can also acknowledge that there is pain and suffering in the world, and they can acknowledge that, but are happy to live and let live. It wasn't all that far from how I used to describe myself: a social liberal and a fiscal conservative. Folks can do what they want, just don't pass the cost on to me. I'm a little ashamed to admit that at the age of 18, I was a card-carrying member of the Progressive Conservative Party of Ontario. In fairness, that was a long time ago. And I even supported Mike Harris's common sense revolution. I naively believed the spin: we'll cut from this area and we'll shift the funds to another area with a potentially larger impact. It looked really good on paper. Unfortunately, while the cuts came, the second part never seemed to materialize. And unfortunately, Ontarians have been paying the price for that ever since. I still believe in something similar when it comes to police reform. reduce police budgets to have the police focus on the things they absolutely must be involved in, but shift the other funding to things like mental health support, harm reduction, frontline poverty reduction, and true crime prevention activities, giving people hope and purpose, and helping them to move from simple survival, instead of just harassing them and threatening them with arrest, prosecution, and fines or detainment. In my management training during my almost 30-year public service career, I learned about Maslow's hierarchy of needs. How many here have seen Maslow's hierarchy of needs? There we go. And how it can be very difficult to focus on higher level needs of esteem and self-actualization, the outward-facing aspects, when you're struggling with physiological needs, food and shelter, or security needs. It's easy to see how someone who is food insecure, unhoused, or in physical jeopardy can't really devote much time to walking in someone else's shoes when their own are so badly in need of repair or replacement. That said, some of the most empathetic people I know also struggle with the burdens of poverty and mental health issues. What concerns some people inward can sensitize others even more to the struggles of their fellow beings. But back to compassion and how it differs from empathy. My research quickly led me to realize that I had misunderstood compassion all these years. I am an engineer after all. Numbers are easy, words are hard. Spell check is great. Empathy is essentially passive. It demands that you be open to the experience of others, but it does not necessarily require any action of you. And don't get me wrong, being open to these experiences is a huge thing. Life can be so much simpler if you can move through your days and weeks ignorant of the suffering and need of others. Many people, for a variety of reasons, manage to do this seemingly without effort. As just mentioned, for some, it's because their efforts are focused on other things, like survival. But for others, it's because they have never had occasion to perceive, or they lack the tools, the perspective, or sometimes the willingness to understand. Compassion takes what your empathy tells you and drives you to do something about it, to alleviate a situation, to donate money, volunteer your time, use your influence, write letters, march in protest, offer shelter, or one of many, many other actions that those who are really active in social justice can tell us about. This past Monday, September 30th, marked the 4th National Day for Truth and Reconciliation and Orange Shirt Day. This day provides an opportunity to reflect on the barbaric practices that stain over a century of our history and continue to impact Indigenous peoples today, both those who were the direct victims of the residential school system and those who are dealing with the trauma of their family members and friends. Even someone with the barest trace of empathy can perceive and acknowledge this pain and this stain, especially with the media focus that has been placed on it these last few years. But it is compassion that drives us to do something about it and to make good on our commitments to reconciliation. Here at FirstU, we are leaning into this. We have established and nurtured the Ajashki program as a reconciliation activity of the congregation. For those who are interested, and I hope all of you are, the Ajashki end-of-season harvest celebration and Inuit mural unveiling, that's a mouthful, will be taking place this coming Thursday from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. just outside the doors in the Unitarian House courtyard. But in addition to Ajashki, FirstU is also working to transfer land to Ontario Aboriginal Housing Services to allow them to provide safe and affordable housing to Indigenous peoples. Land acknowledgements are good, but tangible action is even better. Development of our campus, which includes the land transfer to OAHS for their construction of a 6-story building and the construction of a 16-story building offering units at below market rents and with a small number of deeply affordable units, has not been a fast or an easy process. There are many who are concerned with the potential and very real impacts to our campus. Our compassion for Indigenous peoples and for others looking for affordable housing options close to transit, and for ourselves who also need new sources of income to survive, comes at a cost to those who already call campus home. We are asking them to live through months of construction traffic, noise, and chaos. And at the end, the campus will be significantly transformed. For some, this impacts their physiological and security needs, and our empathy for their legitimate concerns and fears are leading to a compassionate response where we work as a community to minimize the impact of the coming changes and maintain regular communications so there are no surprises. It will be hard, but we will get through it because we really have no choice. As I'm learning through my involvement with the board and the governance committee, transferring land to enable the creation of more affordable housing is a large and very complex act of compassion, and not something that any of us could or probably would willingly undertake on our own. But as a community, with many committed members and a variety of backgrounds and expertise, there are many things that we can achieve together. We've all heard the saying, many hands make light work, and it takes a village to raise a child. And both speak to the strength of community, and when that strength is applied in a compassionate way, the impact can be remarkable. As Mary said at the beginning, I've been associated with FirstU for just over 20 years, first as an OWL volunteer, blame Lisa Sharp right in the back there, then as an OWL facilitator and a youth advisor, and later in several volunteer and lay leadership positions, board member past and present, committee member and chair, fall fair volunteer, November the 16th, don't forget, and past worship associate. I give my time and my talents, meager though they may sometimes be, and my treasure because I have witnessed the good that FirstU and my fellow UUs have done and continue to do in the world. As the saying goes, it's better to light a candle than curse the darkness. I'd always heard that that was from Eleanor Roosevelt, but again, when I did my research, it's attributed to a huge number of people, so I will attribute it to anonymous, but not to me. I certainly borrowed it from someone. And it's even better to join our candles together. My contributions to FirstU are my way of amplifying my voice and my efforts and responding to the insights of my empathy. Few would ever think of governance as a compassionate activity. Does anybody here think governance is compassionate? Eva lifted her hand. She's another member of the governance committee, so there you go. But it is an essential part of keeping us organized and maintaining our charitable status, and that is an essential part of allowing FirstU to do good, to turn our empathy to compassion. I have UU friends and colleagues, some of whom are in this room today, who are leaders in environmental justice, peace activism, poverty reduction and alleviation, human rights and refugee issues, and anti-racism work. My support of FirstU allows them to gather with other talented people and focus their time and considerable talents on things that I believe in and that they are truly passionate about and better positioned to move forward. During pledge season, and it is upon us, I often hear the saying that no pledge is too big, and there's usually a pause for laughter, so please feel free to chuckle, or that no pledge is too small, that every little bit helps, and that is certainly true. By the way, my talk is not intended to guilt you into pledging, although Phil and the pledge team and the board and our many active teams and programs would be grateful that you did, if you did. It's also not intended to guilt you into donating your time and talent. We are all on different journeys and at different points in our lives, with varying capacities to give and engage. For some of us, simply getting through the day is a huge challenge. Some are dealing with health issues, physical and mental, with grief and trauma, with securing food and shelter, with sick friends and relatives, with stressful jobs and unstable relationships, and with a host of other burdens that are often invisible but very, very real. But for others, blessed with the benefits of stable upbringing, currently blessed with generally good mental and physical health, a lack of ability to speak, but good mental and physical health, strong and supportive family and friends, and adequate mental, emotional, physical, and financial resources, our compassion demands that we take action, that we give where and when we can. In addition to FirstU, we, that would be my lovely partner Megan and I, also support several charitable organizations that respond compassionately to the needs of this community, this country, and the wider world. Current events led us to supporting Doctors Without Borders, the World Central Kitchen, and Amnesty International. It's a constructive way of channeling our empathy for good rather than being swallowed by rage or despair, which I sometimes do succumb to. And then Megan pounds me about the head until I get better. It's tough love. Reaching into the New Testament and my Roman Catholic roots, Luke 12:48 states, "From everyone who has been given much, much will be demanded. And from the one who has been entrusted with much, much more will be asked." Personally, I feel that I have been given much, and I am happy to meet the demand as best I can. I hope that you have the resources to meet the demands of your own empathy and channel them into acts of compassion that are meaningful and nourishing for you. But a reminder to all, be compassionate with and to yourself. Recognize your limitations and those imposed by your current situation. Be as kind to yourself as you want to be with others. To quote from the spoken word song, "Everybody's free to wear sunscreen." Does anybody remember that song other than me? I've seen a couple of nods. From 1997 and 1999. Don't waste your time on jealousy. Sometimes you're ahead, sometimes you're behind. The race is long, and in the end, it's only with yourself. Remember the compliments you receive, forget the insults. If you succeed in doing this, tell me how. And from me, be the one who gives the compliments and extends their hand in help and support. In my experience as a lay chaplain, when your time is done, people remember your acts of kindness, your support of others, and the good things you have done. Give them as much to remember as you can manage. Thank you.
Thank you, Guy, for your very comprehensive analysis of compassion and empathy, and even getting into pledging and FirstU and so on. For an engineer who knows numbers but doesn't know much about words, I would say Guy has both of them very well honed. Thank you, Guy. And now we have a second testimonial this week, actually, from another dedicated volunteer, and Mike Fletcher would like to come and tell us why he supports FirstU.
Thank you. It's pledge season, and it's my honor to share part of my Unitarian journey. I think I'll go way back and talk about maybe 40 years ago. At the time, I was in what you might call my formative years, and I was hearing funny things, weird things, and maybe not very good things. People saying that there's no such thing as community. I think we've had a song, and we've had meditation and a speech today by Guy that had community in it several times. It didn't strike me as right, and at the time, people started running for office who were saying these things and getting elected to powerful positions. It all kind of felt wrong, but at the time, I was a young guy trying to get my feet under me. There wasn't much I did about it. But something that goes against my grain never completely disappears. Today, I see a world where people struggle to be grounded and obviously aren't talking to each other. What's missing in the hearts and minds of so many people is making the world a much less great place than it could be or it should be. None of this can be fixed without giving the human family some better foundations. For that, inter-Unitarianism, which emphasizes love and principles without dogma. In many ways, I believe that early religious leaders in many faith traditions have championed. FirstU has enriched my life. It has made me wiser and stronger and more confident about what I'm doing in my one precious life. I feel it's worth everything I put into it: participation, volunteering, and financial support. I try and get my pledge in early so I don't have to have a call from somebody doing like PBS television where they're trying to get a pledge from you. And I know what you're thinking. There's a problem here, right? You're going to get your pledge in, and a week later you're going to wake up in the middle of the night and be, oh my goodness, you'll be in a cold sweat. I didn't make a big enough pledge. Don't worry about that. That can happen to the best of us. There are ways to deal with it. Talk to Phil. He's a genius at getting people out of this problem. But more seriously, and like Guy said, any pledge, big or small, is wonderful. It's a joy to receive and I think to give. And I hope you join me in doing it. Thanks, everybody. Peace to you all.
So thank you both, Guy and Mike, for your support of the Pledge campaign, of course, and for Phil, who organizes it all. And as one of the telephoners who might telephone you to say, hey, guess what, did you forget? Please welcome me. By all means, tell me you cannot afford it. Absolutely. I understand that, and you're most welcome, and I find it, when I do the telephoning, that I find out a lot of things, personal things about people, which I do not pass on, and sometimes it's good news and sometimes it's bad news, but sometimes it's better to share this news in any case. But we all do what we can, but as Guy mentioned, you have to think of yourself first, and once that's taken care of, then you can reach out and help others. So we do what we can. Will our ushers please start passing the baskets at this time? This congregation has a long history of care, vitality, and bringing people together to move the arc of justice forward. We have been able to live into our hopes and dreams because of the generosity of those within and beyond this community. Whether you are here in Worship Hall or anywhere else, you are part of this community. We rely on one another to keep this community vital and resilient. If you have any questions about how you can give, please go to our website or contact our finance manager to find out how to make a donation or keep up with your pledge. Our gifts are freely given and gratefully received. We dedicate these gifts to the work of this community of faith, serving human wholeness, caring for the planet, upholding religious freedom, welcoming the stranger, loving one another. And now let us sing together once more. Please rise in body or spirit as we sing verses 1, 3, 4, and 5. You'll notice that number 2 is missing. 1, 3, 4, and 5 of Wake Now My Senses, which we'll find is number 298 in our gray hymnal, and the words will be up on the screen.
And today we have a closing reading. And our closing reading is from the Reverend Dr. James Gertmenian, and it's titled, Where the Action Is. And it begins with a passage from the New Testament, so you get two of those today. This one is Romans 8:22. We know that the whole creation has been groaning as in the pains of childbirth right up to the present time. And we begin. Why were these people smiling? I was at West Coast Seminary recently, helping to facilitate a multi-faith gathering of young faith leaders. As we arrived at the venue, another group was concluding a spiritual retreat and preparing to leave. They seemed oddly jolly, all smiles and hugs. I wondered why until I saw one of their leaders wearing a large sign that nearly covered her torso. It read, "No politics, please." Okay, every group can set its own boundaries. I get that. But when I saw that sign, all I could think was, no wonder so many churches are dying. In this day and age, you know the litany: a degraded earth, daily mass killings, racial hatred, sectarian violence, voter suppression, sickening demagoguery. Do people really think they have a right to religion without politics? Will someone tell me what the point of religion is then? Love without justice is not love. Compassion without deeds is not compassion. Faith without action is not faith, and religion without politics is not religion. I understand that the group probably wanted a feel-good, conflict-free spiritual weekend. Sorry, but in my view, people of faith are not entitled to avoid politics for the sake of a short-lived spiritual high. I don't mean that faith can't offer us moments of soaring hope and profound joy, but those come not in the absence of conflict, but in the heart of it. The world is groaning in travail, Scripture tells us, while we work for something good to be born. As a cis male, I acknowledge that I can't easily appropriate birth imagery, but I do know that the action is in the delivery room, not the waiting room. The intersection of faith and politics, where there's struggle and pain, is the delivery room for the world we seek, and that's where we need to be.
Before we begin to close this time of worship and reflection, a reminder that coffee hour will begin in Fellowship Hall immediately after this service. And remember, there's two things going on. There's a special lunch by Mr. Mia, and there's also a place for discussion group at the back of the hall in Fellowship Hall. Leafy greens, courtesy of the good folks of Ajashki, are available for those who would like some from the grow towers in the old volunteer room near Fellowship Hall, as are food and household items from our grocery support program. If you are new here, still feel new, or simply welcome conversation today, please pick up a green mug. And those of you who know Reverend Eric, our beloved Reverend Eric, frequently has referred to this as blue, but as you can see, it is green. There are several different shades of green, but it is green. So, picking one up will help others looking forward to good conversation find you. And if you see someone sporting a green mug, approach them. Ask them about who they are and what drew them here this morning, the start to another great conversation. And now, as we prepare to extinguish our chalice, please reflect on these words from Jim McGaw as read by Guy.
When I say go in peace, I don't mean go in mindless oblivion. When I say go in peace, I don't mean go without challenging yourself or others. When I say go in peace, I don't mean go in utter ease and comfort. When I say go in peace, I mean go in peace seeking justice. I mean go in peace committed to equal rights and opportunities for all. When I say go in peace, I mean go in the peace that is created when, together, we build communities of true solidarity, deep compassion, and fierce, unrelenting love. Go in peace. Jen?
Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea, move in the the shape of justice, roots holy grows, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me. Source de vie, jaillit en moi. Insoufflant mon cœur, des élans de compassion, chante dans le vent, danse avec la mer, anime la main qui façonne la justice.
You guys can keep standing. Go in love, go in hope, go in compassion, go in peace. And we now invite you to move to Fellowship Hall for more community and conversation. And for those who are interested, Chris and Peter will be leading a discussion on today's service.